Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and as you know, I know you can tell through the enthusiasm that I am so happy about today. Today's show, 360 degrees of heaven. Dr. Michael Mantell, my main man, guest co-host. We're back again today, and we got an extremely special guest on this show today. And so, hey, Dr. Mike, I cannot wait to
Well, I've looked
meet.
long and hard, many, many decades to look for this particular guest. And so I think that we're going to be surprised who that might be.
I'm excited. Michelle, how you doing? How you doing today?
Doing great. I'm excited about this guest. First time meeting this amazing guest who's got a lot of information to share with us today. And audience, pay attention, submit your questions, comments, whatever platform you're reviewing or looking at the show on. But this guest will definitely have a lot of information to educate us.
One of the things that I'm excited about is that fitness. I'm not just talking about just physical fitness. I'm talking about fitness of mind, body, and soul. That we have to have an equal balance and making sure that we meet all three of those requirements. And I believe that if we do that, we will get our ultimate health and we'll be able to maintain those things. But some things that we have to do in order to do this. And so I'm so curious about talking about these things today. What are your thoughts on that, Doc?
Well, I agree. I mean, look, so there's something called a kinetic chain that links the brain down through the heart and stomach, legs. We are one. We're the mind and the body. The only places separate are in textbooks. And what is the one thing that holds us straight? That's our spine. Posture. So I think you're right. Mind, body, spirit is all one, and that one thing in the back of our back, the spine, is what holds us straight up.
Wow. So hey, Michelle, I'm so excited. Can you please introduce the title of the show, purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Well, yes. So the title of today's show is 360-degree health, maintaining your posture throughout life. And Dr. James Cooley and our guest co-host, Dr. Michael Mantell, will have a discussion with certified professional fitness trainer specialist, Paula Mantell. We're going to talk about steps to maintain good posture, why our posture changes with age, and 8 ways to improve posture as we age. So let's talk to you a little bit about guests today. Forget rocking chairs and bingo nights. This isn't your grandma's fitness trainer unless your grandma's a total person, in which case, high five. Certified in 2013 by the American Council on Exercise as a professional fitness trainer specialist and armed with ninja level certifications in BOSU, TRX, and ACE specializations in active aging training for obesity and nutrition. Paula Mantell is all about making fitness a fountain of youth for the older generation. She's been at it her whole life, and for the past decade has been providing professional services tailored to an older population. Forget generic routines. Paula crafts personalized programs that ignite energy, sculpt strength, and empower older adults to reclaim their physical prime. Forget feeling intimidated. Paula brings infectious enthusiasm and a supportive spirit that makes working out feel like a party, not a chore. So ditch the dust bunnies and grab your sneakers. It's time to rewrite the script on aging with Paula. Forget hunchbacks and aching joints. She's going to be talking about Welcome to Posture Up, about her podcast, and she has so many things to discuss. So welcome to the show, first time.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me as a guest on the show today.
Hey, Paula, one thing Michelle mentioned, she said, forget about the hunchback.
Yeah.
Yeah. She kind of caught me off guard on that. Paula, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It is really a joy and a privilege to be here, JC.
It is. And for our viewers and our listeners out there, wherever you're watching us at, on either platform, the E360 television, transfer TV, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. Welcome to the show. And
Thank you.
Paula, I got to reveal something to our audience that they probably don't know yet. But Dr. Michael Mantell, my guest co-host, this is his bride. This is his queen.
I guess the last name may have given that away.
Yeah. So Paula, can you tell our viewers and our listeners why it's so important to maintain posture throughout your life? Because if you don't, I do believe that you will potentially, stoop over, hunchback, all that other type of stuff, or imbalance. So can you explain to our viewers why it's so important?
It's really important both for physical and emotional aspects. First of all, physically, our posture is made up of our muscles, our bones, and our joints. And what happens is, as we get older, we lose bone mass, we lose muscle mass, and our joints lose a lot of the elastic fluid that enables them to move more fluidly and more liquid, with more liquidity. So we have those things that are going on. We also have gravity that takes over and also is compressing us down. However, the good news is that there are many things that we can do to work against these factors of time, physicality, and age that are taking over.
So, Paul, I have a question. I know the answer, but our audience doesn't.
Okay, right. Well, you're the best attorney then. Always know the answers to your questions.
So what got you into this field in the first place? What was the interest that brought you into fitness, particularly for an older population, but fitness in general?
Okay, so in general, I've always been what I call myself a fitness enthusiast. From the time that even before, but the time, especially when you worked as a consultant at American Council on Exercise, we would go to conferences and people would say, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I'd say, "I'm a fitness enthusiast." And then you suggested, "Why don't you get certified?" And I studied and studied. And sure enough, about 7-8 months later, took the exam and became certified. And now it is a lifelong quest for me to share what I adore and believe so strongly in and share it with older adults like myself. I'm 73, going to be 74 in about 4 months. And I don't feel one bit of that age, even with a little ache and pain here and there. They don't last. And I attribute it a lot to my physical activity.
You don't look nowhere near 73.
Well, I am. I got my driver's license to show it.
One of the things is because you work so hard at fitness and teaching and etc. You primarily, I believe, work with older clients, but do you work with other clients as well?
I do. I work with a variety of clients. I've had young children. I also work doing telecoaching, which is wonderful, especially even more so since COVID, because it's expanded my ability to be in contact with people from all over the world, which is very, very inspiring too. So we get the time zones coordinated and we're good to go.
And you have all these additional certifications,
yes.
Working with, you name it. I can't even keep track of them all. In terms of what you bring to a client, you bring all the equipment. They don't need it. You bring it, right?
Right. There are some things I ask my clients to buy, but I do bring a lot of toys with me. And it's fun because they always wonder, I wonder what she's going to bring today. So it kind of, increases the curiosity and the involvement and enthusiasm factor on their part as well.
You mentioned a little bit about the background, about how the spine is so important and
yes.
what posture is made up of and so forth. A lot of the activities that you bring to clients is meant for strength training and agility and flexibility and coordination and energy and all of those things together.
Right.
Talk a little bit about posture specifically.
So posture is the foundation of everything. First of all, with posture, as I mentioned before, having the emotional component. Think about if you greet people in the world and you're kind of like slouched over and kind of like downcast looking, people are not going, they'll respond to you in kind. So when you've got great posture, and a keyword, two keywords here are proprioception or self-awareness and alignment, which I think we all talked about a few moments ago. This is so important because you'll increase your health, your respiration will improve. You'll prevent things like having heart attacks or strokes because your blood circulation will be going at an optimal level instead of being crouched down. When you have alignment, you allow all of your organs, internal organs, the ability to work and do their jobs that they're meant to do. So again, with the alignment, you've got the kinetic chain, which you mentioned a moment ago. Everything is dependent on everything else, almost like playing Jenga, where you've gotten a great setup all up and down the kinetic line. So you've got that. And it starts with your ears being in alignment over your shoulders. So if you have a jutting out turtle look like that, you don't look good, and it right down the line, it's going to create poor posture.
I have a question. I have a question for JC.
Okay.
JC is a military guy.
Yes.
And he takes pride in his military, stand. JC, when you salute, do you slouch or do you stand tall?
Well, we call it military bearing, Doc. I salute and I stand tall.
Look at that. See that? Look at that.
And JC, I saw a complete change in your posture the moment you did the salute. It really is very, very impressive.
We're going to take a break, I think, JC, and we're going to practice that.
We're going to take a station break, but
okay,
whichever platform that you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Remember, it's your life. We'll be back with some more of Paula Mantell shortly after the break.
I never wanna leave. Yeah, I'm right where I wanna be. We got something you and me, and I can't get rid of this feeling. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Just like a magnet, we're just like a magnet. The things we have can be taken for granted. Now I know that it has always been you. I can't help it, I'm so drawn to you. Hey, I'm so drawn to you. I'm so drawn to you. Yeah.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. The one that keeps us close when we're apart. Talking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way to leave behind loneliness we've known and live again life of need.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and just get the opportunity to get to know this young lady right here. And I did say young because I know you said 73, but I'm still putting you right around 50. So that you're a young lady. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to our new book that we just released yesterday. Release. Michelle is also in the book. Release Joy 360 degrees, 365, and release as a bestseller, #1 bestseller already.
Wow.
This is 4th one. I said 4. I mentioned that I was going to release 4 books at the beginning of last year, and so I'm just so thankful. That me and Michelle are co-authors in this book, and it went #1 bestseller. Hopefully today,
Amazing.
International.
Fantastic. What a great job, and great to have collaborated too.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Paul, I got a question now.
Sure.
Know that as we become older, our posture, just like you mentioned a minute ago, starts to change. How can people become more cognitive, or some of the things that they need to do to keep from always leaning over and letting their spine grow into that curve? Right. Can you explain to our viewers and listeners some of the things that they might want to do?
Absolutely. The first thing it all starts with is being aware, self-awareness. And looking around and realizing, even when you get up from a chair, check with yourself and say, okay, am I standing as straight as I could be right now? And it takes a moment to bring yourself upright, and you're going to feel differently, as we've already mentioned, because you are creating space and expansiveness through your chest, just like you did, JC, when you made that salute. So to create that self-awareness, am I standing straight? Are my feet firmly on the ground? Is my spine in alignment? Is everything stacking up in a line as straight as your body will allow for you to get it? It really starts with self-awareness. And then with that awareness saying, oh, I feel differently now because I am more erect. I am straighter.
So from a psychological perspective, which I just have to add,
Yes, of course.
It's something that we call self-efficacy. Mm-hmm. So that means in terms of the question JC asked, so I have to believe that having good posture is beneficial, and you've made that case.
Yes.
And then we have to believe I can have good posture. Now, and so the question is, you started talking about like where your chin is and your ears. What other little tips do you have about what we can check in on that we can look for?
Okay, you can check in with your breathing, because with better posture, you will notice that your breathing is actually easier and better because you're not compressing everything down. And again, I hate to keep saying it, but you're making that room and space. Your lungs will feel better. You'll be able to inhale more easily and exhale more easily. So that's another thing that you'll notice. Also, in terms of physical health, you will lower your risk of heart attack and stroke. You will also lift your spirits because you are being more upright. It then carries through and giving yourself the message, I feel more upright, I see in a more upright way. And it will also affect cognitively how you'll interpret things that people say to you. Because you're in a more positive position, you're bound to accept things that people say or perceive things that people say in a more positive light and context.
So I have another question, Paul.
Okay.
And that is this. We see everybody, all of us, we all walk around with that phone. That cell phone.
Thank you
Okay.
for bringing that up, Mike.
What about the cell phone killing? I think cell phones were invented by spinal surgeons.
Maybe they were. And the thing is that it has become so pervasive, so all over in everybody's lives. It's like, wait a minute, 5 minutes have gone by. Where's my phone? And you start like tapping and looking for it, like, who knows what you lost, like you lost your dog or something. I was just thinking of you, Michelle. Anyway, so you really have to see that and feel that you have that positive outlook and aware, I do feel better having this feeling. I do feel better looking at things in a more erect and straight on horizon view way.
So how should we hold our cell phones when we're looking at it for better?
Thank you for bringing me back on topic. Thanks. So ideally, the way a cell phone should be held is to be raising your arm and not having your face go to your phone, but having your hand come to your face. So if you can imagine that you're doing that, almost making a degree like that, a straight angle in your elbow, having the phone in your hand and gazing at it at this height and position rather than this height and position.
That strains our neck, doesn't it?
It puts a terrible strain, and again, on our neck, and it goes, in this case, right down the line, all the way down to your feet, your ankles, your toes, and then it goes, again, working it straight down your hips, which, Michelle, you mentioned before, your knees, your ankles. It just goes straight down. So it's like a linear self-fulfilling action to really remember. And people might think, wow, that's really strange the way you're holding your phone. But you will be doing your body, your mind, your posture, and your stance a huge favor and kindness by holding your phone that way.
Paula, I'm sorry, Dr. Mantell. Go
No, I
ahead.
was gonna say, you had a question.
Oh, yes. Paula, as
Yeah.
you know, women, we carry like big tote bags and big purses.
So glad you mentioned it.
You know, and in time, it kind of makes
Yes.
your posture a little
Yes.
crooked.
It sure
And
does.
I can speak for myself.
Mhm.
And even if you're going to the airport, the way you lift up the suitcase or way you take it off a baggage claim, you know, there's a certain way you should lift
Yes.
things and also the way you should carry things. So can
Yes.
you kind of talk a little bit about that when it comes to posture, especially a younger person, if they're carrying their book bag or books to school? Can you kind of dive into
Absolutely. First, let me address the purse shoulder bag. Anytime anybody is looking, a woman or a man is looking for a handbag type of thing to purchase, always filter your search to have it as a crossbody, because what that does, it distributes the weight of the bag. I am actually a victim of this because of carrying a bag on my right shoulder for so many years. I actually, here's a secret, and now you might notice it, my right shoulder is actually higher than my left shoulder. And it drives my hairstylist crazy. And I drive Kelly absolutely crazy because of that. So in getting a handbag, when you're purchasing one, make sure it has a crossbody strap. And now with the styles being where they're woven and so beautiful, it's really a great, great opportunity. And every designer offers crossbody bags. So that's the first thing, because in doing that, you will distribute the weight of the bag more evenly, and you're going to be doing your body a favor. The second thing, ergonomically, whenever a person is grasping anything, assume a posture of your feet being about hip width distance apart. And before you do anything, you engage your abs. You bring your navel so firmly to your spine. I like to use the visual of a tufted pillow. So a tufted pillow has a button in the middle, and it takes the middle of the pillow and sucks it into the back of the pillow. So do you have that visual in your mind?
Yes.
All of you? JC?
I do.
Okay, great. So,
Hey, Paula, you're making so much sense.
oh my God.
When it comes to posture, when it comes to
thank you.
some of the things that we need to be very cognitive of.
Absolutely. So let me just finish this one thing.
Okay.
When you grasp something heavy, ideally grasp it with both arms so you're distributing the weight of the object between both sides of your body equally. Now you've got that tufted pillow thing going on in your midsection. And now what you're going to do is you're going to actually lower your body. And Michelle, it's a squat. And every time you sit down, a person sits down in a chair, you are doing a squat. So you want to lower your body straight down and grasp this luggage, the piece of luggage. Ideally, if you can grasp it, probably a handle on the top and handle on the side, ever mindful of that engagement in your core. And then you can raise it up and you can get it high. And actually, if this is something, and we all do this, it's functional fitness. It's a function of your living that, especially you with traveling as much as you do between Temecula and Texas, to raise the item up, having that engagement will protect your back. I tell my clients that your abs or your core are the front of your back, and you need to support them. You need to support your core and you need to support your back. So again, it's a 360 kind of proposition, a deal, and you've got to do that to protect your back. Also, by not looping and bending over, you're also protecting your spine. By assuming a squat position to pick something up, you are actually going to protect your spine in doing that.
Thank you. And I know we'll come into a commercial break, but
okay, that was quick.
I want to talk about, and I'm sure the audience wants to talk about exercise posture, proper form. And we all go to these big exercise class. Everyone cannot tell you if your form is proper. So, and we can go into that later on.
Okay, sounds great.
Well, we still got 2 minutes.
Oh, great.
Okay, well, let's talk about proper form when exercising.
I am a huge Group X enthusiast. I go to Les Mills body pump classes many times a week, and it has provided my body with many, many benefits besides psychological enablement and empowerment. But a Group X instructor actually is encouraged to have eyes on the whole group, but to be very careful not to single someone out and say, oh, Michelle, suck your abs in more. It's basically they try and do it with eye contact. So you're absolutely right. So again, the posture thing comes so much into play here because you need to have your abs engaged. Again, the kinetic chain also comes into play. Have your abs engaged, have expansiveness in your chest when you're doing anything. So, for example, if you're doing biceps, I'm actually going to stand. You can't see my face now, but if you see the alignment I have, my chest is wide, my shoulder blades are towards each other, and even while I'm doing a bicep curl, I am keeping that engagement through my upper body. And it's posture here. So I wanted to demonstrate that for you to be able to see what Group X instructors can't single out or call out people and say, Michael, make sure that you got your abs engaged. Make sure that you're not stooping over. Keep your upper body straight. When you do a dead row, same thing. And this is also, again, it's part of posture. And before we finish today, I want to give you 2 or 3 movements to help you. And you can do anytime, anywhere with no equipment to work on your posture and to create that mindfulness or proprioception.
We got some things to do during the break now, JC.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to rehearse, especially that last passage that she showed us. I'll tell you what, this is exciting. Our viewers and our listeners out there. Not every day you get an opportunity to talk to an extreme expert. And when she's showing you how to do these things.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Best as I can.
we're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and we're going
Great.
to talk a whole lot more about
Okay.
this topic. We're going to talk a whole lot more with Paula Mantell, and we're going to talk a whole lot more with Dr. Michael Mantell. So I tell you, if you got any questions, if you got anything that you want to ask, all you do is just go to the platform that you're watching this on and just put down in the comments. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life. And we'll see you shortly. Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Back to James Cooley Show is your life, and I tell you, just having fun. I mean, wasn't feeling that good early this morning. Got up, went to the gym, did my thing, and I just don't know. It's just sometimes that energy you get around a certain vibe, certain people, it just sparks you. It just brings it back. It just uplifts you. And first time getting that opportunity to really meet Paula Mantell. And Paula, I got to tell you, you are absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Everything that Mike always tell, I mean, like Paula. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
And the topic that we're talking about is so important to our viewers and our listeners, not just today, but for the rest of our lives. And if they soak this in, like Shell and I are soaking this in, whatever issues or concern that they could, work out, through physical fitness or just working by themselves or hiring a coach like you to help them out is the best option, I believe, out there. So I just want to commend you.
Thank you.
The things that you're doing.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we left what we was talking about, and you did this pose, and you was describing a lot of different things as it go to posture. I got a question. So I had 2 hip replacements due to osteoporosis, right? And I was warned in advance, so I'm just gonna be real with you.
Okay.
I was wherever I was at, I was a physical fitness king. I mean, get out and everything, and I started having problems. And the doctor of the base, a very good friend of mine, I worked out with him. He said, "I'm the only one that don't know that you're not the bionic man." He said, "You need to slow down. You got this thing called osteoporosis." I didn't listen to him, Paul. I said, okay, yeah. To get out there and do another 5 or 6 miles. And about a year and a half, it hit me. It's like I started walking, I couldn't walk. Then the next thing you know, limp and all these other type of things. But our viewers and our listeners out there that might be having the same challenges, not knowing that time will catch up with you. And if your doctor tell you, or your physical therapist tell you, or your trainer tell you certain things, and if you believe in them, that you need to take heed and listen. Can you tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about that?
So osteoporosis or osteopenia is where it starts, is something that's degenerative, meaning that as we get older, we actually lose bone density. The mass of our bones decreases. And it also, if you almost visualize a sponge, there actually there are holes or openings that create in our bones. And because of that, if you imagine something solid as opposed to something that's spongy and has holes in it, it loses its strength and ability to bear weight like that. So there are things that we can do. First of all, there are medications that are determined if you do become being osteoporotic. There are medications you can take. Supplements certainly on the front end probably are good for everybody, and there's some that have excellent additional ingredients that are very beneficial, such as vitamin K. But besides that, once you have become osteoporotic, taking the supplements as the doctor directs you, or having infusions, which is another means of delivery of them. In addition to that, though, doing weight-bearing exercises to the ability that you are able to and to maintain, and then possibly increase that. Again, dumbbells, barbells, using these, and you don't have to be like a bodybuilding champion having a full rack of weights on each side of the bar. It's not about that. It's about the fact that you are doing weight bearing to the extent that you're able to, and that's appropriate, that's recommended by your physical therapist, by your doctor, a specialist in that area. So what you want to do, and even body weight is resistant. Body resistance is also weight resistance. And it can be something as simple as walking. And again, using weights are an excellent way.
Paul, I have a question.
Sure.
There are a number of ways that we can improve our posture specifically, whether we have a disease or we don't. We're just getting older, or we want to prevent. So what are some ways that we can improve our posture?
Okay. So again, by doing certain things, I'm just looking over my notes here so I don't exclude anything.
Good.
So, by having better posture, we increase our health, our well-being. Also, doing yoga, which is something JC you mentioned and Michelle mentioned, yoga and Pilates are excellent disciplines. And the beauty of them, well, really with any exercise, is that when you link your mind with your body and you bring them together as one united entity, you are improving everything. So you have that by doing yoga. Again, lifting weights is immeasurable to the ability that you're able. You don't have to have the biggest bar loaded in the class. Vitamin D, very important, and we get that naturally through exposure to the sun. We also get it successfully from taking supplements, and that really does work. And also through our diet, through having dairy. There are plant-based contents that have vitamin D, so we have that. The other thing we do and want to try and do is to eat healthfully. Again, and there's so much emphasis now on a plant-forward, plant-based diet, meatless Mondays for people who really embrace eating meat. So really bringing more plants into our diets, whether it's through a vegetable-based soup or eating roasted vegetables, having salads, having this conscious effort to even say to yourself when you're meal planning, okay, what do I have in here that's going to have fiber and protein? And you're going to get a lot of that through plants, through legumes or pulses like lentils. You're going to get that through nuts. And so again, it doesn't have to be the red meat. There are people who love their red meat, and I get it, but you can really accomplish it through other means. And then the other thing is knowing how to support your spine. And again, this comes with the kinetic chain, with that whole lineup, top up, top down, bottom up, that you are aware, that self-awareness, that proprioception is so important, and sitting straight. So I like to give my clients visuals about doing different exercises. And one of the visuals for sitting is, imagine a letter L. So it's not a letter J where it becomes curved. It's a letter L where your spine is here, and then the tail of your L. You kind of get the L visual.
We got it.
Okay, I can show it a lot easier and make possibly a bigger impression with my clients, but you get the idea. So are you sitting like this? And it happens to all of us. I start out and I'm like, okay, I'm going to be sitting the letter L. And all of a sudden I'm noticing I'm becoming like this. And again, that's where that mindfulness and proprioception come into play. You just bring your spine straight up, feel the difference, remind yourself, how do I feel now, as opposed to how did I feel then? So
we got about 2 minutes before the break. I know Michelle got a question, but she got to get ready to go. But, you had mentioned vitamin K.
Yeah.
First of all, what is vitamin K? Second of all, how do I get vitamin K?
Okay, thank you for asking. So vitamin K is among the group of vitamins that is fat soluble, which means we need to have fat in our diet. We cannot rid ourselves of fat in our diet. Otherwise, certain vitamins like vitamin K will not get absorbed. Vitamin K is a coagulant vitamin. It causes our blood to clot and form scab. If you've had an injury, Michael, you can relate to this right now after what happened with your knee.
And Paul, I'm gonna interrupt you, dear. I have one thing.
Yes.
Michelle has to leave. And
Okay.
if she doesn't leave, none of us are getting vitamin K.
Okay.
Michelle, what's your question?
You know what?
What's
You
your
know what?
question, Michelle?
I know we're coming up from a break. I'm going to just put this question to you, Paula, so you can discuss. When you do have issues with your spine and you do go to a specialist and you're getting physical therapy, what is the importance of not doing exercises on your own based on YouTube videos or what your friend recommended? How important it is to listen to your physical therapist on what you can and cannot do. Perfect example. I'm going through PT now. Yoga and Pilates, at least right now, is not an option for me. It will be an option for me after the physical therapy is done in a month, so they can track my progress and know what positions and what stretching moves are appropriate for my type of injury. So
And we're gonna hold the answer coming sugarly, but we're gonna take a station break, and when we come back, just answer that one for our viewers and our listeners. This is exciting, and I'm loving this. So we're gonna take a station break. We're gonna come back, and we still got some more of Paula Mantell and Dr. Mantell and Dr. James. Well, we
And Dr. Michelle.
So I'll tell you what, we'll see you shortly after the break. Remember, it's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, and I'm fascinated by this discussion. And I'm not saying this because these are my friends. I'm saying this because it's a topic that much needed, and that we need to understand as we mature, is what I call it. As we season, is what I call it. We have to be able to make sure that we have less aches and pains as possible, because our body changes as we age. And Paula, she already explained that to you. And I tell you, we got to have a part 2 on this one. I'm just going to tell you, we just have to have a part 2. And
so JC, you, before she left, Michelle asked a very important question, right? And we want to be sure we answer that for her, because we know that if we don't get that answered, we're not going to hear the end of that. So we got to give her an answer. And her question was,
you know she's gonna go back and listen to the tape.
Right? Of course she is. And by the way, Michelle, when you listen, you understand that this wasn't my idea. This was JC's, to remind me, to remind Paul. So, here's the thing. Michelle wanted to know about, we read about all these things, do this, do that, Google. I read an article, someone told me, their trainer, but my doctor said, don't do that yet. What does the client, the patient, listen to?
Absolutely, hands down, no second thinking here. You listen to your doctor or your physical therapist. They're the ones who have the utmost knowledge to promote what needs to be done, what you need to do. As Michelle said, a month from now, she will be able to have to engage and participate in yoga and Pilates. But right now, her doctors are saying this is what you need, and that's what she has to do. Not to listen to, oh, my friend said to do this, or I read this, or watch this YouTube. No, absolutely not. It is key not to allow people to influence you. They may mean well, but it's not for your well-being. And
so now I know we don't have a lot of time left, and I know JC says we're going to have a part 2, but just real quickly, JC, Paula has this thing that she calls the wall slide.
You know what? I was getting ready. I was waiting to get an opportunity to ask.
You and I are working together a lot. Okay. We're reading each other's minds. So what is the wall slide?
Okay, the wall slide is that you stand with your back to a wall. You have your feet. If you can have your feet touch the wall, that's fine. If not, if they're a few inches away, that's also fine. You put your arms in a goalpost position. And then what you do is you slide your hands up the wall. However, let me remind you, your abs are engaged. You got that tufted pillow action going on. You have your chest wide. So your shoulder blades, your scapulae are in inverse C's, and everything is firm and tightly engaged. You slide your hands up the wall, as high up and as straight as you can get them, and then you bring them back down into a goalpost.
And your back
arms,
your back against the wall?
You're right, the whole time with your back against the wall. Now, there may be parts of your body that aren't going to touch the wall, and that's fine because it's your individual body structure that's going against the wall. But you bring your arms up and down. And I would like to suggest very quickly one more exercise. Clasp your hands behind you. If you want to stand up, I'd like both of you to try this, please. Okay, so behind a chair may be a little too wide. That's my point. But and now you're not going to see my face, but you can tell my hands are clasped behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you do is inhale. As you exhale, bring your shoulder blades up, back, and down as if you had blue jeans on and each shoulder blade was going into a pocket. Okay, I want you to feel the awareness. What muscles have just gotten tighter? What muscles have just gotten engaged? That's the mindfulness or the proprioception.
The back muscles?
The back muscles have the shoulder blades have come toward each other and down, and they're firm. Okay. At the same time, your chest has become wide and expansive. What this is doing is creating and setting you up for the position of good posture.
That's great. That's great.
Wow, we listen 2 minutes in the show, but I do want to know about. Tell us about a little bit about podcast posture. So if you can, 1 minute or less.
Okay, so that again is that same thing as we deal with a cell phone. You're hunched over, your back is going in a C. It's undesirable and it's not helpful and will not promote good posture, structure, everything else, respiration, your organs to work. Always, always think of that L position. Bring things up to your face, not your face down to the things. When you're eating, bring the food to your mouth. Don't bring your mouth down to the food. It's all of these ergonomic actions that are so important to remember to maintain good posture. And good posture, again, applies seated, standing, eating, even sleeping. Like Michelle mentioned, sleeping on her back. These are all parts of having good posture, promoting better mental well-being for yourself, better respiration, better circulation, better function of your organs, and just an overall better well-being.
Paul, I'm loving this, and I hope that you agree to do part 2.
Absolutely.
If
With pleasure.
our listeners want to reach out to you real quickly, can you tell them how they can get in touch with you,
Yes.
enlist your services, etc.?
Okay, so people can reach me. I should have brought a card. I don't have one with me right now. PKMANTELL@AOL.com. And my cell number is 619-743-2575. And I'm available. I do have some open time slots, so I would love to work with people if they feel they have the need and want to improve their lives, their mental outlook, all of that. I'd love to work and help them with that.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time. Dr. Mantell, you already know. I want to thank both of you guys for taking the time to come on the show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything that you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life.
Bye-bye.